Hello everybody, welcome back to our SSCMA classes. So let's resume our direct taxation classes. Okay, so we are going to cover few section here, and one of the section is going to be new section which is amended, which is introduced this year. Okay, so let's go for the section 194BA, which says about the winning from online games. Okay, we are familiar with these words, online games, right? We have seen so many advertisement during watching any of the videos. Okay, we can easily identify now which are we talking here now. Okay, so let's go for it. Nature of payments is about the winning from online games. Pay is going to be any person, pay is going to be again any person. Okay, TDS not going to be allowed in case if the amount is up to 100 rupees per month. Okay, if it exceeds rupees 100 rupees per month, then only TD is going to be deductible. Okay, and what is going to be the rate? 30% rate is going to be, yes, chargeable. ठीक, but the question comes here, when is TDS actually deducted? ठीक है, on case of online gaming, when the TDS is actually deducted. Okay, TDS required to be deducted at the time of withdrawal. So we have to know this, what is the meaning of withdrawal here first of all. ठीक है, and at the end of financial year. Okay, what is now this thing? So we have to understand these two terms. Okay, so let's go for it. Okay, and we are also going to get one more section in this section, which is saying about the section 115 BBJ is of computation of net winning for this purpose. Okay, which is computation of online games. Okay, how we are going to compute, I'm going to tell you now. So aggregate amount of withdrawn from the user account during financial year is taken. Again, aggregate amount of what? Aggregate amount of withdrawn, okay, which is from user account during the financial year is taken. Okay, this is the gaming account actually. Hope so you're getting this. Second, closing balance. Okay, closing balance of user account at the end of financial year. Okay, so what I said at the beginning was aggregate amount withdrawn from the account during financial year is going to be added with the closing balance of user account. Okay, closing balance of user account at the end of financial year. Okay, we are going to add A plus B. Okay, we are going to add A plus B. Let's go for C. Says about the aggregate amount of non-taxable deposit. Now, what is the meaning of non-taxable deposit? Which means the amount which we already paid tax, like where we have already paid tax. For example, let's take business income, and that income is here used in online gaming. Okay, so the tax is already paid, okay, to the government. That's why we are saying it as non-taxable deposit. Okay, so we are going to take the aggregate amount of non-taxable deposits made in user account by the SSC during financial year. Okay, and this is going to be C, which is the aggregate amount of non-taxable deposit. Hope so this point was also clear to you. These things are already going to be given in the questions. Okay, so don't get confused. And this is about the opening balance of user account. Opening balance of user account at the beginning of financial year. Okay, so we are going to add C and D. Okay, A and B, A was of withdrawal, B was of closing. Okay, A and B is to be added. From A and B, we are going to deduct C, aggregate of C and D, sum of C and D. C is about the non-taxable deposit, aggregate of non-taxable deposit, right? And this is about the opening balance. Okay, so A plus B minus C plus D. Okay, we'll get the net winning amount here. Okay, A plus B less C plus D, will get the net winning amount here. Okay, so this is going to be the income from other sources. Whatever the net winning will get, that income would be income from other sources. Okay, and it's going to be taxable at 30%. Hope so you get my point, what I want to say. Let me say it again. Let's go back. Okay, This section says about the winning from online games. Okay, the section says about the winning from online games. Payer is any person, pays any person. No TD is going to be deductible if the amount do not exceed 100 rupee per month. Okay, taxable at the rate of 30%. Hope so this was clear. Now, when is TDS going to be deductible? This is one of the question. But what I said, under section 115 BBG, we calculate the net winning, okay, and that net winning is going to be taxable in which head? Among 5 head, right? There are 5 heads of income, right? And in that, where it's going to be taxable in the income from other source, ठीक, and at rate of 30%, right? This was of income net winning of which head? Income from other sources. Okay, now my question is, now let's talk about TDS. Okay, this was the income from other source of, okay, but what about TDS, when it's going to be deductible? The law says TDS is going to be deductible at the time of withdrawal during the financial year and at the end of financial year, okay, from the user account. So let's check out the terms which is going to say the deductible with deducted the TDS deductible, okay. So let's go about the computation of net winning for the purpose of TDS under section 194BA. Okay, so there are two scenarios. First scenario is about the first withdrawal and second scenario is about the subsequent withdrawal. Okay, let me say it again. Okay, so section 194BA is of TDS which is related to online game, okay, which is going to be chargeable at the rate of 30%, okay, and when it's going to be deductible in two things, okay. First of all, the withdrawal, right, withdrawal of user, and plus one more thing, okay. Right now we are going to know the meaning of withdrawal, how to calculate that withdrawal, okay. The scenario first is about the first withdrawal, okay. So amount withdrawn from the account, same thing, right, same thing which was computed other sources of income net winning, right, same thing is going to be calculated, but we are not going to take the B part of closing account, okay, we are not going to take the B part. So A part is about the net amount withdrawal, ठीक, from the user account. We are not going to take the B part, okay. So A we have to deduct from A, right. So C says about the aggregate amount of non-taxable value. Yes, this is same point. Okay, hope so this point is clear to you. And this is about the opening balance of user account. Hope so this point was also clear to you. So A minus C minus D, or A aggregate of C and D, okay, which is to be deducted from A, okay, we'll get the first withdrawal. So hope so this point was also clear. But what if my actually answer, my net winning comes in negative? In that case, no TDS is going to be deductible. Hope so this point was also clear to you. Let's go for the next point, which says non-taxable deposit. I told you that income where tax is already paid. Okay, let's take the business income, and this income is used in actually gaming account, okay, for game purpose, okay, or for playing online game. Now the first scenario was of first withdrawal. Now let's go for the second scenario. Okay, this is also similar, but one new point is going to be added here, okay. So let's go for it. Aggregate of what? The withdrawal, right, from the account, but till the date of subsequent withdrawal. Take again, aggregate amount withdrawal from the user account till the date of subsequent withdrawal. Hope so this point was also clear. Okay, we are not going to take the B part in both of the cases. ठीक, C aggregate amount of non-taxable deposit made till the date of subsequent withdrawal is to be taken, right. So let me write here A less, which is the C, okay, which is non-taxable deposit, right, and from where which we have to take the online balance, okay, online balance of the user account. Hope so this point was also clear to you. Okay, there is one more thing now, okay, there is one more thing which is saying the net winning on which TDS already deducted at the time of withdrawal. Which withdrawal? The first withdrawal, where this amount, okay, on which the TDS was actually deducted at the time of withdrawal. Okay, so this is also going to be deducted from A, right, from which? From the withdrawal, right. So this says about, there is one more point E, which is saying about the net winning on which TDS was already paid, right, already paid at the time of withdrawal. So number first thing, aggregate of withdrawal, from which we have to deduct three things. First was of opening, non taxable deposit, ठीक, opening account, right, and one more thing was of net winning, ठीक है, which will get the net winning again here, ठीक है. So this is going to be the subsequent withdrawal. Earlier we take out the first withdrawal, ठीक है, we have calculated the first withdrawal, ठीक है. If the subsequent withdrawal is happening, right, in that case we'll go for this formula. Okay, let's go for the net winning at the end of financial year. Don't get confused. So first of all, TDS is going to be deductible at time of withdrawal, first thing, right. So we have calculated how to calculate withdrawal, computation of withdrawal we have seen, okay, in case of first withdrawal and in case of subsequent withdrawal we have seen, right. Now let's go for the net winning. Okay, net winning at the end of financial year, this is almost also similar, okay. So A says about the aggregate amount from the withdrawal, right, this is similar, okay, this is similar, which says the A. Here I have written, okay. So aggregate amount of the withdrawal is to be taken from the account, which account, during the financial year, right, of the user account, right. B says about the closing balance, okay. This is similar to which point? This is similar to this section, right. This is going to be similar to 115 BBJ, right, income from other sources, where we have calculated net winning, ठीक है, taxable there to 30%, ठीक है. So A and B, right, we have taken A and B. First was of withdrawal, second was of closing, right. But in case of first withdrawal and second withdrawal, subsequent withdrawal, we have not taken the closing amount, right. But in case of this, the net winning at the end of financial year, we are going to take this point, okay. So let me say it again. First, A is about the withdrawal, ठीक है. B is about the closing balance, ठीक है. C says about the aggregate amount of non-taxable deposit made in user account by the SSC during the financial year. This is also the same part, okay. D says about the opening balance of user at the beginning of the financial year. This is also same, ठीक है. E says about the net winning on which TDS already deducted at the time of withdrawal, ठीक. So the formula is going to be A plus B minus sum of C, D and E, okay, which means we are going to add withdrawal, closing, from this we are going to deduct the non-taxable deposit, ठीक है. Second, opening balance and then net winning on which TDS is already paid, okay. So this is going to be the net winning at the end of financial year, okay. So we have computed the withdrawal, ठीक, and net winning, okay, at the end of financial year of user account, okay. On these two things we are going to deduct the TDS, ठीक. So let me read it again, what I have written. TDS required to be deducted at the time of withdrawal. Now we know how to compute the withdrawal, ठीक है, in case of first withdrawal, subsequent withdrawal, ठीक है, and during, which is financial year, ठीक है, during the financial year and at the end of financial year from the user. Now we also know how to compute the end of financial year, net winning from the end of financial year, ठीक है, of user account. Now we know these two things, okay. So we have, and apart from these we also know how to compute income from other sources, right. Section 115 BBJ says about the online gaming, ठीक है, taxable at the rate of 30%. But in this case, what is not going to be taken? The net winning, right, ठीक है, which is A plus B minus C plus D, ठीक. Hope so this point was also clear to you. Let's go for the other things written in the section, okay. In case of multiple user account of same user, each user account shall be considered for the purpose of calculating net winning. If the person is having more than one user account, okay, all of that account is going to be taken for computation of his income, okay, computation of his net winning, okay. But there is one thing which is saying if winning is not done in cash or partially done in cash or it's done in actually kind. So how we are going to compute the income, how we are going to take the net winning amount, okay, as what the law says that 30% TDS is going to be deductible, okay, or 30% tax is going to be deductible in case of income from other sources, right? But now if the winning is in kind, if winning is done partially in money or partially in kind, in that case how we are going to compute it? So first of all, we have to find the value of an asset. Whatever the asset is, we have to find out the value of that asset. From that value of asset would be deemed to be taxable deposit. Okay? Now earlier we were using non-taxable deposits, right? Non-taxable deposit means what? And on that income we have already paid tax to the government. Okay? Now the taxable deposit means where the tax is actually not paid to the government, right? So when the value of asset is computed, okay, when we compute the value of asset, we'll assume that it's going to be deemed to be taxable deposit. Okay, it's going to be the taxable deposit value. Okay, it's going to be the taxable value, taxable deposits value. Okay, hope so this point was clear to you. Okay, as we have to pay tax, okay, we have to pay tax, right? Next, the equivalent amount has been withdrawn from the account. Now as we know that the very first thing says about what? Let me go back, okay, the aggregate of amount of withdrawal is to be taken. From that we have to deduct other things, right? 2 or 3 things, right? From that the withdrawal we have to deduct other things, right? Closing, non-taxable deposit, net winning where the TDS was already paid, right? Okay, hope so this point was clear. Okay, so once the value of asset is computed, we'll assume that value is going to be the taxable deposit, okay, and that taxable deposit is going to be equivalent to what? To the withdrawal, okay. The equivalent value has been withdrawn from the user account at the same time. We'll assume that the equivalent amount is have been withdrawn from the user account at the same time, okay. So what I have written, let's see, taxable deposit is not deductible as tax is not paid earlier. Okay, this was the case when the winning is done in kind. Now let's go for the bonus. Okay, if bonus cannot be withdrawn, okay, sometime in the question will have that bonus cannot be withdrawn, okay. So what is going to be what is going to be the taxability of bonus is going to be there or not, okay. So if such bonus cannot be withdrawn and can only be used in online gaming, then there is not going to be taxable. Okay, that is going to be exempt. Okay, that is going to be exempt. If that bonus cannot be withdrawn, okay, if that bonus cannot be withdrawn and it is only used in that online gaming only, okay, we cannot withdraw it, so that's going to be exempt. Okay, but what if the bonus can be withdrawn? In that case it is going to be deemed as taxable deposit. Okay, then it's going to be deemed as taxable deposit. Once we'll assume that this is taxable deposit, what is going to happen? We have to pay the tax. Okay, so hope so this point was clear. This was the end of that section. Let me say it again. Okay, which says about the section 194 BA, winning from online game. 30% is going to be taxable, no TDS up to 100 rupees per month. Okay, if it exceeds more than that, then only we are going to pay the tax TDS. Okay, and TDS 2 case withdrawal plus net. Yes, jaldi bolo yaar. Okay, withdrawal and at the end of financial year, winning from the end of financial year. Okay. So we know how to take the withdrawal, okay, in case of first withdrawal and second withdrawal, what are we going to take? And under section we also read this section 115 BBJ, which is income from other sources. It's also going to be taxed at the rate of 30%, okay. So we'll compute net winning, okay. So hope so this point was also clear to you, okay. So let's go for the other section, section 194C, which says about the payment to contractor for carrying out any work. For carrying out any work, okay, which includes supply of labor for carrying out any work. Let me clarify one thing. If in the question says the if the bill is there for, let's go for the material, okay, and labor, okay, and bill is specifying about this is going to be the material amount and this is going to be the labor amount, in that case we are only going to take the labor amount, okay. But if it is not specifically given about the labor amount, in that case we are going to take both of the amount, okay. Specifically there is something written about the labor amount, then we are only going to take that amount. Okay, hope so this point was clear. So let's go for the section 194C, which says about the payment to contractor for carrying out any work, okay, which includes supply of labor for carrying out any work in pursuance of contract between contractor and a specified person, okay. So who is going to be the specified person? Payer is going to be specified person. Let's check out who are going to be the specified person in this section. Other than individual, HEF, AOP, BOI, okay. Earlier section what we read, other than individual and individual and HEF, right? In this section we are also going to take other than individual, HEF, BOI, AOP, okay. But one more exemption, which says if the last year turnover, remember, if the last year turnover exceed 1 crore from the business, ठीक है, और gross receipt exceed 50 lakh from the profession, ठीक है, of these people, then they would also be that specified person, ठीक है, that they would also be payer, ठीक है. Hope so this point was clear. Let's check out the payee. Who is going to be pay here? The resident contractor, okay. Contract shall include subcontract, which means if it's including subcontract, so subcontractor would also be their payee, okay. Let me say it again. Payer is going to be specified person, okay, other than individual, HEF, AOP, BOI, but yes, from business last year turnover was more than 1 crore, okay, gross receipt 50 lakh, okay, from the profession, right? Hope so this point was clear. And what about the pay? The resident contractor, okay, which also include the subcontractor, okay, subcontractor, okay. Hope so this point was clear. So let's go out TDS, when the TDS is not going to be applied, okay. For individual contract, if the amount is up to 30,000, okay, if the amount is up to 30,000, in that case no TDS is going to be applied, okay. Or for the aggregate, it's going to be 1 lakh for each pay, then also no TDS is going to be applied, okay. Or the payment in course of business of plying, hiring, leasing goods, carriage. Again I'm saying payment in course of business of plying, hiring, leasing goods, carriage, ठीक है. But where such contractor own 10 or less, if they are having more than 10, then TDS applicability would be arise. But in case of less than 10 or less than 10, no TDS is going to be applied. Hope so this point was also clear. Let me say it again. If the payment in course of business of plying, hiring, ठीक है, leasing of goods and carriage, ठीक है, if such contractor having 10 or less goods carriage at the time during the previous year, ठीक है, in that case no TDS is going to be applied, ठीक है. Contractor furnish a declaration to that effect along with his PAN to the person paying or crediting such sum, where the contractor have furnished his declaration of PAN. In that case again no TDS is going to be, yes, take. Or one more thing which says about if it is the contract is for the personal purpose of individual and HEF, in that case also no TDS is going to be applied, okay. Let's go for the other scenario. For individual, if it exceeds the amount more than 30,000, then TDS is going to be applied, okay. For aggregate amount for each pay, ठीक है, 1 lakh से ज़्यादा, then TDS is going to be applied, okay. In case of payment in course of what, business of plying, hiring, leasing, contracting, goods and carriage, okay. And but the 10 or more, what 10 or more, the contractor is having more than 10 goods carriage, ठीक है, at any time during the previous year, and he have not declared PAN, ठीक है, in that case PAN, which part this section is going to be applied, ठीक है, TDS is going to be applied. And if it is not used for personal purpose also, ठीक है, so vice versa, let's take out the cases of vice versa, then it's going to be applied, 194C is going to be applied. Okay, let's go for the rate. 1% rate if pay is an individual or HUF, for other it's going to be 2% of sum paid or creditor. Okay, let's go back and check one thing. I have said that the payment to contractor for carriage out any work, ठीक है, which include the supply of labor for carrying out any work, right? Now, what is the meaning of work here? Now, we have to understand the work, which things are going to be included in work, okay? So, work includes advertisement, broadcasting, telecasting, including production of programs, carriage of goods by any mode other than railway, okay, carriage of passenger again by any mode other than railway, okay, catering, okay, but if this catering is used for personal purpose, then again no TDS is going to be applied, okay. Okay, let's continue. Manufacturing or supply a product as per specification of customer, using material supply, sale by such customer or its associate of customer covered under section 40A subsection 2. Okay, so these things are to be included in works. Okay, hope so this was also clear to you. Okay, but what if there is one point, okay, let me say the last point of this, which says the manufacturing or supply a product as per specification of customer, okay, using material supplied, sale by such customer, okay, or its associate person. So manufacturing is done, supplying is of product is done as per whom, the specification which is told by the customer, ठीक. Hope so this point was same clear to you. And apart from that, the material is also supplied by the customer to the contractor. Okay, in that case this is going to be work, okay. But what if that contractor taken the material from outsider, take, he have taken the material from the outside, in that case that would be termed as sale, okay, then this section is not going to be applied. Hope so this point was also clear to you. Okay, so this was the end of that section 194C, which says 1% rate is going to for individual HUF and 2 for the other remaining, okay. Payer specified person, okay, pay is going to be the residual contractor, ठीक, and specified sums were there, individual 30, 1 lakh and some specification was there, right, PAN and all, ठीक. So hope so you are getting this section and what I want to say. Okay, let's go for the other section, which is section, okay, let's take some similar section here, okay. Let's go for 194D, okay, 194G and 194H, okay. So 194D, G and H are having the same rate, which is 15%, okay, and the same limit, which is of 15,000. So let me say it very quickly, okay. Let's go for it. 194D says about the insurance commission, ठीक, payer is going to be any person, pay is going to be resident, and no TDS is going to be applied up to 15,000 during financial year. Again 194D says about the insurance commission, which is going to be 5%, okay. For these three section, the rate is going to be 5%. For insurance commission 194D, which says payer is going to be any person, pay is going to be any person, ठीक, and no TD is going to be applied 15,000 during the financial year. Let's go for 194G, says about the commission, remuneration or price for stocking, distributing, purchasing, selling lottery tickets. Okay, for this section again the rate is going to be 5%, limit is going to be 15,000, pay is going to be any person and pay is going to be any person. Okay, again 194G says about the commission, remuneration or price for stocking, distributing, purchasing, selling lottery or selling lottery tickets and all. For that the commission which is get by that agent would be in this section, which comes in this section, okay, 194G. Let's take the 194H, which is of commission on brokerage. Again 5% limit up to 15,000. Hope so this point was clear, okay. And any person here, the pay is going to be any person other than individual HUF, right? But HUF turnover, remember, right? Turnover and the gross receipt 1 crore 50 lakh. ठीक है, hope so this point is again clear to you. So 194H, in 194H we are not going to take the 194D and G, other than whichever commission is going to come we are going to take in this section 194H. Hope so this point was also clear to you. ठीक है, so 194H says about the commission or brokerage pay is going to be any person, ठीक, other than individual HUF, but if the turnover exceeds in the last year 1 lakh rupee, 1 crore rupee, okay, and what about the gross receipt 50 lakh rupee from the profession, ठीक है, in that case that person is going to be, yes, applicability of TD is going to be applied on that person also, ठीक है, and P is going to be any person and the amount is going to be up to 15,000. Hope so this point was clear to you. Let's go for the 194DA, says the payment in respect of life insurance policy. Here the 5% of amount of income comprised therein, ठीक है, but the limit is, if no TDS is to be, if it is less than 1 lakh then no TDS is going to be applied, but if it is more than 1 lakh, in that case 5% rate is going to be applied, ठीक है. Pay is going to be any person, pay is going to be the resident. Okay, let's go for 194E. We know this section, we have read this in computation of non-resident, right, the assessment of non-resident, ठीक. Let's go for it. 194E says about the payment to non-resident sportsman or sports association of the income referred to section 115 BBA. Remember 115 BBA or entertainer, rate is going to be 20% and plus 4% surcharge, HSEC, है ना, okay, surcharge नहीं, HEC, right, and payer is going to be any person, pay is going to be definitely non-resident person, sportsman being a foreign citizen, sports association, entertainer being citizen, foreign citizen, okay. And there is no threshold limit in this section. In section 194E, there will be no threshold limit. So whatever the amount is get by the non-resident, that is going to be taxable at the rate of 20% plus HEC of 4%. Okay, hope so this point was also clear. So let's go for one more section, okay, which is 194E, says about the payment in respect of deposit under National Savings Scheme, and it's going to be taxable at the rate of 10%, okay, up to 2500. If the amount is up to 2500, in that case no TD is going to be applied. If it exceed more than 2500, in that case TD is going to be applied at what rate? 10%. Okay, payer is going to be any person, pay is going to be any person. So this was end of this lecture. Okay, so hope you get some point. If it was bit informative for you, then hit a like button, subscribe my channel and send this video to your friends, okay, those who are doing CA, CS, CMA. Till then we'll meet in our next session. This is Soumya Santosh, guys.